The medical bay of the constellation's edge hummed with the soft rhythm of life support systems. But the silence within was anything but peaceful. Arya lay motionless on the bio-bed, her chest rising and falling in shallow breaths beneath layers of regenerative bandages. Burns crisscrossed her arms like angry red rivers, and a thick wrap covered most of her torso where the explosion had torn through her environmental suit. Around her bed, they waited. The Kiro cubs, all 7 of them, had arranged themselves in a perfect defensive circle, their sleek, obsidian-furred bodies pressed against one another, forming an unbroken ring of muscle and fang. Each weighed nearly 200 pounds despite their youth, their triangular ears swiveling constantly, monitoring every sound in the sterile chamber. Their 6 eyes, 3 on each side of their elongated skulls, never closed simultaneously. When one set rested, another watched. Dr. Vex Thor, the ship's Quellan physician, approached the bed with cautious steps. His chitinous exoskeleton clicked softly as he moved, 4 arms carrying medical scanners and regeneration injectors. The nearest cub, the largest of the litter, released a low rumble from deep within its chest. Not quite a growl, but a clear warning. "I must check her vitals," Vex Thor said, his translator rendering his clicks into standard. "She needs another injection of..." The rumble intensified. All 14 eyes were now fixed on him. "You don't understand," the doctor continued, mandibles twitching with frustration. "Without treatment, the human will die." The cub's lips pulled back, revealing rows of crystalline teeth that could shear through battle-grade armor. Behind it, the other 6 cubs rose to their feet in perfect synchronization, forming a wall of living obsidian between the doctor and their protector. Vex Thor backed away, his translator emitting a resigned sigh. Stubborn creatures. Just like her. Commander Zelkun stood in the doorway, observing the standoff with his 4 eyes. The Draxian officer's scales shifted from blue to contemplative purple as he assessed the situation. "How long has it been?" he asked. 37 hours since the explosion," Vex Thor replied. "The cubs haven't moved except to block anyone who approaches. They refuse food. They refuse water. They simply guard her. And the human's condition? Stable, but deteriorating. She needs cellular regeneration treatments every 6 hours. The last dose was 12 hours ago." Zelkun's scales darkened to a worried gray. The mission to the Vexnar ruins had been reconnaissance only until the Dominion forces ambushed them. Arya had been the one to discover the trap, the one who'd triggered the emergency beacon that saved the rest of the team. She'd also been standing directly over the anti-personnel mine when it detonated. The Kiro cubs had been with her then, as they'd been with her since the day she found them abandoned in a cargo hold 3 months prior. The smuggler who'd been transporting them had jettisoned the container when station authorities started asking questions. Arya had been the one to hear their cries echoing through the docking bay. The one who'd spent her own credits on formula and medical care, the one who'd slept in the cargo bay for weeks, until they were strong enough to adapt to ship life. The crew had protested. The captain had threatened disciplinary action. Station regulations strictly prohibited keeping Kiro on board. They were classified as apex predators, impossible to domesticate, dangerous beyond measure. Arya had simply smiled and continued feeding them. "There has to be a way," Zelkun muttered, watching the cubs maintain their vigil. "What about sedation? On Kiro cubs?" Vex Thor's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "Commander, their metabolism processes most known tranquilizers as mild stimulants. Even if we could sedate them, their pack link would trigger a danger response in the others. We'd have 7 fully grown predators in kill mode inside a medical bay. Then we wait for them to sleep? They've developed a rotation. 3 sleep, while 4 watch. Then they switch. They never leave her undefended." Zelkun's scales shifted through several colors: frustration, admiration, resignation. He'd served with dozens of species across the galaxy, witnessed countless examples of loyalty and courage. But this was something different. "Send for Lieutenant Torres," he ordered finally. "If anyone can reason with them. After it's another human." Lieutenant Marcus Torres entered the medical bay 20 minutes later, his dark eyes immediately finding the scene. He'd served with Arya for 2 years, had seen her stubbornness firsthand. Her absolute refusal to abandon anyone, human or otherwise, under her protection. The cubs watched him approach, but didn't move to intercept. They recognized him, had accepted him as part of Arya's pack. Marcus knelt slowly beside the largest cub, meeting its three-eyed gaze. "Hey there, big guy. I know you're scared. I know you're protecting her." He reached out carefully, placing his hand on the cub's massive head. "But she needs help. Real help. Medical help. The kind only the doctor can give." The cub whined, a sound of pure anguish that made Marcus's chest tighten. "I know," he whispered. "I know. You think you're keeping her safe. And you are. You've done an amazing job. But now you need to let us help too." He looked around at the circle of cubs, all of them watching him with those alien, intelligent eyes. "She saved you," Marcus continued, his voice thick with emotion. "When everyone else said you were too dangerous, too wild, she fought for you. She believed in you. Now it's our turn to save her. But we need you to trust us the way she trusted you." For a long moment, nothing happened. The cubs remained motionless. A wall of muscle and fang, and absolute determination. Then, slowly, the largest cub lowered its head. One by one, the others followed suit, not leaving Arya's side, but creating narrow gaps in their defensive formation, just enough space for the doctor to work. Vex Thor moved forward immediately, his instruments humming to life. As he began administering the regeneration treatments, the cubs watched his every movement with laser focus, ready to strike if he made one wrong move. But they let him work. Marcus remained kneeling beside them, one hand resting on the largest cub's head, the other reaching up to touch Arya's bandaged hand. "You've got quite a family here," he murmured to his unconscious friend. "The galaxy's never seen anything like it. A human and 7 Kiro cubs. The xenobiologists are going to lose their minds." The largest cub, the one Arya had named Kiro, before realizing it was actually the species designation, shifted closer to the bed, resting its massive head on the mattress beside her shoulder. The others followed, maintaining their protective circle but allowing their exhaustion to show for the first time in nearly 2 days. Within the hour, Arya's vital signs began to stabilize. The regeneration treatments took hold. Her body's natural healing accelerated by alien medicine and guarded by impossible loyalty. When she finally opened her eyes 3 days later, the first thing she saw was Kiro's face inches from her own, all 6 eyes watching her with an intensity that might have terrified anyone else. Arya smiled weakly and raised a trembling hand to scratch behind his ears. "Good boy," she whispered. "Such a good boy." The cub's rumbling purr shook the entire medical bed, and across the galaxy, another impossible bond between human and alien defied every rule the universe thought it knew.